Good evening and welcome back to the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts virtual Dominion Energy Jazz Café. Tonight we're in for a powerful evening of straight-ahead jazz fused with some of the best feels of the spirit. And tonight, with that fusion of gospel and of jazz and of an eclectic musical experience, we welcome Jazz in the Spirit. Richard?
Thank you. All right. All right. Jazz in the Spirit is a creative fusion of American jazz and gospel with influences from the African diaspora. It helps to create community by bringing together listeners of different styles and tastes. We hope that you enjoy this evening of Jazz in the Spirit. Thank y'all. That was By and By, which is on my my new album, Jazz in the Spirit. So we hope y'all check that out. We're going to go to a song called Sweet Hour of Prayer. sweet hour of prayer. All right. And now we're going to do a song that's named after the day on which it was written. This is another song from Jazz in the Spirit called Wednesday Afternoon. about to close out our acoustic set. I said a little bit to when we do these, there is we style ourselves after Chick Corea a little bit. We have our acoustic band and we have our electric band. So you've been hearing from the acoustic band. And while I'm at it, let me introduce them. Dr. Weldon Hill on the piano, Mr. Michael Hawkins on the bass, and Mr. John Walters on the drums. And we're going to give them some virtual love. So we're going to close out this set with an old hymn called When We All Get to Heaven.
What a day of rejoicing indeed.
You know it.
Mr. Richard. Mike, I don't know how your fingers didn't break off. I don't know how you still have them fingers, but y'all need a break. Whew, and I need a break too. Richard, it's a lovely evening tonight.
Thank you so much.
Usually we'd have a nice cup of tea, but I think tonight would you join me outside for our conversation?
Let's do it.
Fellas, take a break. Let's go.
Thank you, everybody.
Richard, thank you so much for that first set of music. I really enjoy a good, solid, straight-ahead acoustic set of music. You're, of course, giving us big, strong feels of Chick Corea tonight. And I'm wondering, with him in mind and with other jazz greats in mind, Where do you draw your inspiration as you're creating your art?
Largely from my experience. I grew up in church, so hymns are a big part of my life. And my dad was a real jazz fan, especially like the 1960s style. So that's where so the two of those kind of fused in my mind. So that's gospel jazz, that's where that really comes from.
And so church, is that where you begin your musical journey?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Concord Baptist Church in Brooklyn, New York.
Uh-oh. Still got the name in your mind.
Oh, yeah. Uh-huh. Well, I'm still a church musician, too, so I do that here. Yeah.
And now we're going to get back to our jazz conversation, but in your church music, how is that going for you? In the sanctuary? Are you doing a virtual thing right now?
Yeah, we're doing an online Zoom service from the house.
I just did a service a couple weeks. Actually, I think it just aired this past Sunday, and I just played from here, really, and I edited it into their service, and it was really a beautiful thing and a good feeling to be able to minister again.
That's right.
In that way. So you've got a good, solid church gospel background. I know that gospel influences your art. We're hearing it tonight, and I think we're going to continue to hear that. Tell me about how do you most successfully take your gospel roots, and fuse them with the more secular jazz style that we are familiar with.
Right here.
There you go. All right, that's what I was getting at, man. Tell us
That's
about
what
it.
I do. So there it is. It's my new CD. It just came out on Juneteenth. It's called Jazz in the Spirit, and I want everybody to know about it because it is literally the nexus of all of those elements in my life. So you can hear. Like at the first song called Look and Live. So you can hear, 5-part harmony with the, like a jazz vocalese kind of thing and the saxophone. But the song Look and Live was actually it's a hymn by William Ogden from 1897. And so it's all of those things put together. I have a version of the 23rd Psalm on there. I have a song called Light of the World, which we're going to do in the second set. You already heard By and By. And Wednesday Afternoon, that's kind of like a mood song, Yeah. So it's all in there, that's how I grew up, and that's what, so it just comes out organically.
I really love it. I think there's something very beautiful in speaking with an artist about the way they're creating, about the process, about bringing in memories and instances from their childhood into what they're doing today. Influences in your life. Do many of them come from family? Do they come from church members? Do they come from recordings introduced maybe by family?
There, it's yes, and yes. I would say, growing up, I listened to a lot of choir music, and my older sister and her friend they introduced me to the youth choir at church, and so that was kind of how I got in there. And I think I told you earlier, my dad was a big jazz fan, and so the records that he used to play in house were, it's mostly saxophone players. And so that's how I got to know the sound of the saxophone. And then later, going to school, certain teachers that I had, never forget Mr. Andy McGee. He was my first sax teacher at Berklee College of Music. And man, he broke me down, but it was a good break me down, because I had already been playing for years, but he had me work on my tone. He had me listening to, just the real fundamentals.
I remember that experience.
Oh, yeah.
Thought I knew everything.
Exactly. But it was great. And, he passed away recently, and so we definitely miss him. But his legacy is definitely in me. Another guy, Bill Pierce, was another one of my teachers. He played with Tony Williams and all these great people. And he was just a wealth of knowledge. So some of these people, in terms of the music, and then one of my great mentors was Mr. Max Roach, who was actually a member of my church. And one of the really interesting things was that one Sunday I was home from school and I was playing the sax in the service, and he happened to be home off tour, and he was like, "Who's that up there?" His jazz voice. "Who's that playing that saxophone in Concord Church?" And so somebody sent word to me like, "Mr. Roach wants to meet you." I was like, and that began a relationship that was
so
amazing. And keep a long story short, I actually did some work for him, and he wound up paying for a whole semester of my tuition at Berklee. because, he saw it. I was trying to work hard. I was struggling.
Oh, my.
And so, sometimes you just start on the path and there are people that help you just because. And it's
That's
a blessing.
community. That is
Absolutely.
That's power. That's love. That's ancestral spirit coming through. I
All of that.
love all of that.
Yeah.
Before we end our conversation, get back to some more of your music.
Sure.
I want to know about why Juneteenth for this album. What was the message there?
There were several. Freedom, first of all. Jazz and freedom just go together. And culture. I mean, this Jazz in the Spirit is an unapologetically African American music. And it took me a long time to finish it. I started it years and years ago. And it seemed at different times that it was never going to come to pass, But just like the story of Juneteenth, people were waiting and waiting and waiting and waiting. And then when it finally came, it was glorious. So we actually had our CD release online back on Juneteenth. And, what was interesting is with all the stuff that was going on in the country at the time, I didn't know that was going to be happening. But people were really interested in the CD because it was released on that day. They were like, what's all this about Juneteenth and stuff? I was like, listen, we knew about Juneteenth before this.
I mean, and that's what I want to say. There are definitely some watching us tonight who maybe don't know what Juneteenth is. Educate yourself. June 19, I'll get you a start.
That's right.
Learn all about it with us. Richard,
yes, sir.
Let's head ourselves back inside because I need another tune or several out of you.
That's right.
And we're going to keep this party going. And thank you so much for the conversation.
Thank you. It's great to meet you.
Even without the cup of tea like I normally like to have, we got to enjoy some fresh air. And
yes, it is
I've
really
enjoyed
nice
that
out
with you tonight.
Thank you so much.
So would you join me inside?
Absolutely.
Let's
go.
do it.
Thank you. All right, we are back. This is Jazz in the Spirit. We hope you've been enjoying this. And thank you so much, Robert. And we're going to do another song from my CD now. It's called La Pureza del Amor de Cristo, which in English means Christ's love so pure. And once again, we have Dr. Weldon Hill on the piano, Mr. Michael Hawkins on the bass, and Mr. John Walters on drums, and yours truly, Richard DeBrew Jr., and we are Jazz in the Spirit. That was La Pureza del Amor de Cristo. And truly it is, y'all. Truly it is. All right. I should mention that you can pick up a copy of this album at www.jazzinthespirit.com. That's my website, and that's for the physical CD. But it's also available online at all of your digital outlets, Apple, Amazon, all those. And it's also available on YouTube. You can check it out there, too. So we're going to keep things going. This is the song that I wrote for my 50th birthday, as a matter of fact, at the beginning of this year. And I had no idea what kind of year this was going to be, but it was a celebration then. And I'm grateful to reach 50. Amen. So this song is just called Celebrate. That's celebrate, y'all. And I hope you're celebrating. I know this is a tough time to be thinking about celebrating, but listen, we made it this far, three-quarters of the way through 2020. If that's not a reason to celebrate, I don't know what is. All right, so we're going to slow it down now. This is another song from my CD. It's called Only Want to Serve You. And just a little bit about the message of this song. Of course, the you is pretty obvious, but it's also each and every one of you. So as you think of this song, let us not only think about this relationship, let's think about this relationship between each and every one of us, because we need each other more than ever in the era of COVID to survive. And so we want to serve each other. So think about doing something as you listen to the song for somebody else to benefit them, besides just yourselves. And I believe that you'll be blessed as a result. Only want to serve you. Only one to serve you. And we're going to close out now with the song called Light of the World. This is also on the CD. Once again, this is Jazz in the Spirit. We thank you for joining us this evening and taking time out of your busy schedule to spend with us. And so we hope that you'll join us again, whether we be live or in the studio, as they say. And so thank you all so much, Weldon, Mike, John, myself, Richard. Thank you also for joining us. This is Jazz in the Spirit and Light of the World. Walk in the light, y'all.
Amen and amen.
Yes, sir.
Richard DeBrew.
Yes, sir.
The rest of the band, we know your names. I can't, let me get this thing. Oh,
There you go.
I can take a breath. I can't thank you all enough for being with us tonight. And you already know I can't thank you enough for joining me for another evening of beautiful music and of touching moments. Like we always like to say, thank you for loving with us. Thank you for listening to us. And thank you for learning from us. And so, from the Virginia Museum of Fine Arts in Richmond, Virginia, this has been our virtual Dominion Energy Jazz Café, supported by the Richmond Jazz Society. I'm Robert Fennard. Good night.